We got a call late afternoon from one of our volunteers that has established a relationship with Wasco County. They had two severely emaciated horses, one that was already down in the snow. That's the one that haunts me a little bit, because if we would have known about it hours or a day or so before, we probably could have saved it as well, but it had to be put down. About as bad as they come. I wish I could say that he was abnormal, but we probably get one or two of those a year that are severely emaciated as Miles. He looked like he was about a 1, a body score of 1, and they really don't get that much worse and they're still alive. He had that inflamed coronary band that was just so soft. You could just push in on it. It's like he had good nutrition, and then you can see kind of where that stopped. I felt it was a combination too of the dramatic loss of nutrition and in a short period of time, and being in the snow. We set him up on the UC Davis refeeding plan, which was just a pound of alfalfa every 4 hours. So we were taking turns getting up around the clock, giving him a pound of alfalfa every 4 hours. And it's just so his metabolism turns on slowly. And then from like 3 to 10 days, you used to start gradually increasing how much he gets per feeding and decreasing the number of feedings until he's pretty much at the end of that 10 days up to whatever he'll eat in alfalfa. And they're just trying to get the protein in with the alfalfa. And if you refeed them, like, he won't get grain for at least a month. Way too much sugar. It'll set up like a whole metabolic refeeding syndrome where endocrine and glucose, their electrolytes will mess up and they'll stop their heart. Usually will stop their heart. Muscle weakness. So we just avoid it by being very cautious. It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I bet there's been a lot of work going on internally. And so we're just now starting to see the external. Every single cell in their body needs replaced, and they need to build muscle back. By day 10, they're at however much alfalfa that they can eat, they get. Oh, almost. This point they have to get over that anxiety of whether or not they're gonna be fed. So just kind of getting them to feel a little more secure where they're at and settled, and knowing that their next meal's coming. Their hair coats and their skin is so unhealthy that when they finally get enough nutrition, it's like the last thing, low priority for their body. But when they finally get enough nutrition, they shed out all of that unhealthy hair, and they get like a new skin layer, and then when the hair comes back, it'll be really healthy and shiny. I think the shedding is more of a sign of an internal change. I mean, yes, they're all shedding right now, but he's getting rid of that unhealthy skin and hair, so. And that usually doesn't happen until they've dealt with some more internal stuff. Par for the course, I would say. But a horse at a 1.5 like he was is going to take a good 3 months to get close, probably. Like if you say a body score a month, and he's definitely up to probably a 2, maybe higher. Foster homes dramatically affects how many horses we can help. In Miles's case, he went to a foster home that has been with us for years and has refed lots of skinny horses.
We really like rescue horses. You know, you get to come in and, you know, work with them and get to know them a little bit. And some of them just break our hearts, like Quincy, who, big, beautiful horse that was so poorly taken care of that he's, you know, navicular on both front feet. And when he didn't get adopted, we just couldn't say no.
There's no way we could take in as many horses. We just literally would not have the space for them. Plus, they get so much more individualized attention when you have a foster home that is caring for 1 or 2 horses versus we've got 50 out there. They get to spend a lot more time with them. They get to know them a lot better. They do a great job with them, and it's definitely key to what we do. These horses need basic food and nutrition, and they thrive. Good job, good job. As a whole, like, our foster homes are kind of the foundation of what we do. At the end of February, we had 33 horses, and of those, 27 are in foster homes. And what they do when they're here is it gives them the time and the care to heal. In good shape, and then coincidentally a trainer who I thought was going to maybe skip this year's challenge approached me and asked me about the challenge, and I'm like, well, yeah, we do have another one. So he was actually a couple weeks behind the other horses because I just hadn't spent enough time with him to know if he was ready for it. I'm like, well, Miles is looking good. Let's bring him up and see how he's doing. Because I didn't want to push him in a competition, and I wasn't sure where he was at. And once he was in the barn, he was strong. He always has had, since that point forward, just amazing endurance, just playing in the field. Or I don't think I saw that horse winded or breaking a sweat once. Walk. And so what the challenge does is it gives the horses 4 months with some really great trainers, and they get 4 months of, I wouldn't say intense, but just quality where the trainer's heart and souls and time is put into those horses. So it's a super good opportunity for the horses themselves, as well as people looking to adopt a rescue horse. They're going to be some of the best trained rescue horses out there. And for Miles, having that time and that extra commitment from a trainer was going to, it transformed transformed his life because he used to be very herd-bound, nervous about being around people, and she really got him to focus on her and relax and enjoy that so that he could build a partnership with somebody down the line.
I feel with Miles, like the more that we connect with each other, the more that stay tuned with me and we can work through it. That's really what I love about him.
You're like, well,
He has a lot of try. He's willing to do anything that I ask from him, even if he's really nervous. He still tries and gives it his all. He's very kind. I feel like I've done everything that I can, and I'm just going to continue to do the things that we've been working on, you know, do what we can do.
The adopters all go through a pre-approval process where they fill out an application.
So right now, Miles starting bid $500. Let's see, $500 for Miles.
We call and talk to them. We get references from their vets, from their farriers. We go out and we do a site evaluation to see where the horses are going to be living to make sure it's safe and to kind of get a better feel for the person. And not only do they have to be a good horse owner, but they also need to be a good match for a horse. We also like to encourage them to go out and ride the horse. Ultimately, we want it to be a good fit for everybody.
$2,600 going twice. All these in. No regrets. Here we go. Sold for $2,600. Provider 406. All right. The next.
I don't know.
They're a great match, and I don't think he will have a want that probably does not get filled, which is exactly what he deserves.
Miles! Come here. Come here, boy. Come on. We visited him several times before the day of the auction and just met him. Got to see how incredible he is. He's just a very kind animal. He's just very sweet and loving. I'm absolutely in love with this guy. My friends have been commenting that Miles is one lucky horse, and I actually really feel like I'm the lucky one.
His circumstances were not unusual. The location and the timing of it had a greater impact because it was the first case that was legally prosecuted in Wasco County. That community in the Dalles kind of just stood up and said, this isn't okay, and that was the first time that had really happened in that area. The horses in that area are going to feel that impact from his suffering just because people will watch out for them better. SEO's goal in the next 5 years is to be able to say yes to all the law enforcement cases that come our way. We can't until we have that growth and the funds to support it, because we have even law enforcement that we work with say that they see probably 3 horses a week that they could be neglect cases, but they don't want to overwhelm us. That's 140, 150 horses a year that we don't get to because they're neglected. They're not that severe yet, that are still out there. So that's where the funds directly impact what we can do. Miles probably touched more hearts. I don't know if it was just because of the publicity, but also because he came through our barn. He had his own little community that was much bigger that were rooting for him the whole way through. Miles is safe. I think Miles will always be safe now.